right, howdy folks. We should be live. Let me just confirm everything is working a-okay. It is Monday, September 22nd, 6:25 p.m. is the time. The temperature is about 23 degrees Celsius, and I'm here out in Scarborough on the first official fall day of the year. All right, the audio is working. Mary W is here. Helena, Jillian, Felix, Nick, Alex, Harjot, Gertej, Esson, Random Travels, Mary W again, SB2000, Jacqueline S, Best Times Reborn, Zach McNally. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This is the Elmir Community Center, where there's a skate park where some people are doing some pretty serious skating, and a lot of little kids dinking and donking around on their scooters. I found myself having to come out to Scarborough tonight, so thank you for coming along with me. I guess I can put the sunglasses away. We might be getting some pretty big showers later on in the stream, so if it does happen, I do have my umbrella with me, but I'm on a bit of a mission. I need to head over to Kennedy. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go south down Warden, and then we're going to walk along Lawrence for a little bit, and then I'll go north up Kennedy. So I don't know how long this one will be. Hey, Medano checking in. Chris checking in. Morgan is here. Drew is here. You could say the gang is almost all here. I've never actually been to this spot before. I finished recording a video on Elmir, which is just to the north of here. And I totally didn't come up here because I had to use the facility. Nope, that's not at all why I came up here. It was just general curiosity. Make sure I've got everything zipped up. Philip Chandler's here. Greetings. Aiden Thompson McGuire is here. There's a look at the skate park. Sam Lamb says, are you aware? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I stream when I stream. But we're going to make our way over south, and then we're going to go east of here. Yes, Christo, apparently they do. And that's what I believe they call the bowl. And one of the problems at these skate parks is often kids will be just kind of hanging out in the bowl when people are trying to use it. You are supposed to enter and exit the bowl to let everyone get into it. I've seen conflicts before where kids are just hanging around, not sharing the space properly. So I think it would help if mom and dad knew a few things. Wow, that guy is barefoot. That's pretty crazy. He's got these big pads on his skateboard. He's just rocking it barefoot. Well, this might make a better thumbnail for the stream just before we get moving here. Funny how you do it 5 minutes before Ken. All right, if you're gonna talk stupid nonsense like that, you can go to hell. I left my home like 2 hours ago. Anyways. Let's get a new thumbnail. I'm gonna get that loaded and then we're gonna get moving. Hey, Marie Palmer's here. Helena is here. Yes, that was my evil plan, to come stream at the same time as someone else, even though I didn't even know they were streaming. Holy shit, some people are extra stupid. All right, let me get this thing going here. Hopefully there's some good skating action going on. So I ordered something I gotta go pick up. And it said they had it in their North York store, so I ordered it to be picked up in North York. And then they called and said, sorry, we don't have it. We're transferring your order to Scarborough. I was like, Scarborough? Come on, you can't do that. But apparently they can do that. So that is why we are out in Scarborough today. Was not on my bingo card. Vertish says, last night you were so tired. Yeah, I was pretty tired. We did the Johnny Stumble stream last night. Thank you to everyone who tuned into that. There's the community center. So I was originally going to stream in North York tonight. That was my plan this afternoon when I placed my order. I was going to start around York Mill Station and walk north all the way up to Yonge and Steeles, but instead we find ourselves out in Scarborough land. Some soccer action going on. Hey, Liam is here. Morgan says, wonderful for us. I do a Scarborough stream once every, 2-3 months? It's the Elmir Community Recreation Center. Alex says it's been rainy since last night. Yeah, I remember seeing the thunder out my window when I was live streaming last night. And this morning it was raining pretty good. Drew says, I'm not complaining. I love seeing Scarborough content. Always takes me back. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with this place. I come here just enough that I don't mind it, but I hate the infrastructure and the car dependency of it all. I think the people who live here deserve a little more than this. It's what happens when you build a city post-World War II, just as the automobile companies are kind of dictating everything. But there are world-class restaurants here. Scarborough is very famous for its international cuisine. And if you want to know a little bit more about the residential side, I just did a video walking through Maryvale. I went along Elmir and in and out of some residential subdivisions. This is kind of interesting, this field on the right with these cleared walkways through them. Jeanette is here. Jason Lynch. Greetings, Jeanette. Hope all is well in Houston. Thanks for tuning in, as well as Jason and everyone else. Carl says, if the transit system is better in Scarborough, people would love living there more. 100%. They deserve so much better. When you build for the car, it makes people want to desire to have a car. And then their bank account becomes a slave to owning the car, as does their lifestyle. Elena says, grass walkways are so lush. Doug Ford lives in Scarborough. No, doesn't he live in Etobicoke? Which would be like the West End equivalent of this. Door Builder Canada. There you go. If you want to have a custom door, go to Door Builder Canada. Okay, we're going to cross and go south on Warden. So welcome to one of Scarborough's many stroads. And way, way off in the distance, you can see the Golden Mile Tower. I don't know if the stream is picking it up. But it's interesting, you've got these post-World War II homes lining these major stroads that are noisy and basically superhighways. It's no wonder why the bedrooms are all at the back. But even then, if you're just trying to like watch a movie or something at night, you'd be listening to Cars all night. Peter Bradfield. Peter called in last night. It was good to talk to you, Peter. First day of fall is nice to go to Scarborough Fair. I will not break out into song. But thank you so much, Peter Bradfield, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Glad you're doing better. Peter noted that he's down 110 pounds recently. That's an entire human being. Congrats on that, Peter. Drew says that it used to be connected by the RT. Yeah, and it's being replaced by a less connected subway. A number of the stops were taken out. And it's funny because Vancouver's system is the same technology. Mind you, they don't have the harsh winters we do, but it has aged much better than the neglected Scarborough RT did. It was basically at end of life. But really, if you maintain it properly, that shouldn't even be something you have to contend with. You get a lot of these quaint homes. Let me just make sure I can get to where I want to go before they close. Because that would... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. That would have changed the narrative of my entire night. Cutting it a little bit closer than I would like, but the stream should wrap up by 8 o'clock. No access to Elmir Road or Pharmacy Avenue. Welcome to the absurdity that are nonsensical street grids in post-World War suburbia. The Church of Pentecost, Scarborough Assembly. Are we going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember, we... All right, Randy Ruck. Math Doctor, how do you do to you, Blue Jay fan? Yeah, Wellesley, I don't really know if it was an incident. It was just a jackass inserting himself onto the stream, trying to be funny. But we're going to be walking on 3 stroads in this one. Warden here, then Lawrence, then Kennedy. If it takes me a lot longer than I thought, I might end up taking the bus on Kennedy. I hope not. Math Doctor says last week a regular season baseball. Yeah, isn't Sunday the day where all the games start at the same time? Oh, speaking of sports, rest in peace Canadian football. What in the ever-living fuck did they do to our game? I can see why the NFL wants it to be positioned as more of a feeder league, and they're gradually changing the rules, but Canadian football is dead as far as I'm concerned. John McGarry, $10. Grew up in Scarborough, although briefly. He wrote Brimpton and McCowan. I think there might be a typo in that name, unless I'm not that familiar. Area bedrooms were in the back. Were made, but we're considering the traffic flow compared to now. It made good sense. Love you, Johnny Strides. Thank you, John. Good to hear from you. Thank you for the support, and hopefully you have fond memories of growing up in this area or when you lived here. But thank you so much for the super chat. Simon says no more rouge. Yep. You can no longer win a game by missing your field goal. The field is no longer 110 yards. Like, it's just not Canadian football. But one of the things that happens is a lot of top NCAA players from the States don't transition to it very well, even though they have all the skill and athleticism in the world, just because it is such a different game. And if you're a head coach of the CFL, you'll go with the player who's familiar with the league rules, who can start on day one. And then they're learning this whole new game and skill set, so those skills don't always translate back to the NFL. So it's very clearly just to align itself with the American game. Who knows, maybe we'll like it in time. Another stupid thing is all the stadiums were built, these new ones in Winnipeg and Regina, for the 110-yard field with the long end zones. So now those end zone seats are a lot further away from the action than they used to be. In fact, a lot of the seats will be. Just making those stadiums needlessly big. Open house, 1287 Warden. If you are looking for a home, there you go. Tymo is here. Greetings to you and all 250 of you who have tuned in. 20 minutes into this Scarberian adventure. So we'll be in Wexford probably in about 10 minutes. We're on the main stretch of Wexford. And we'll be walking east and past Birchmount. We'll carry on over to Kennedy. Then I'm going to go north. The street is Manhattan Drive. What a name. Manhattan Drive. Oh, someone just honked. Hope you're having a good day so far, Johnny. Thank you. I shook the hangover off this morning. Got a workout in. Watched the markets do their thing for a while. Now I found myself in Scarborough. Thank you, Susan. Howard Charco is here. Greetings, Howard Charco. Birchmount Stadium, home of the Robbie. There we go. So these homes were almost all built, I think, in the early 1950s. All at once, just like someone was playing Sim City and just plunked down the same thing over and over again. I'm going to Costco up ahead for the 150 hot dog. The Costco's in the other direction. And that's a good question. What am I going to have for dinner? Are there any changes to the CFL that I would like to see? Can I say a 10th team? Put one in the East Coast? Rules-wise, it's a bit wacky in the entertainings, or the entertainings. Close finishes can always be pretty fun and entertaining. I think these rule changes will work against that. It's a Bare Naked Ladies line from 1 week. I remember when the Bare Naked Ladies played my high school. There was a contest amongst schools in Ontario. Whichever one donated the most food to a food bank won a concert hosting the Bare Naked Ladies. And a guy in my grade, his dad was like the president of either Lipton's or Campbell's Canada, and just made a monster donation that won us that contest. Fair or foul, doesn't really matter. It was really cool to see them play the high school gym. The Canadian Football League needs a football team out in Vancouver. That would be exciting. Is that a dig at the current state of the Lions? Apparently the Hamilton Tiger Cats name is a combination of the Tigers and the Cats, two prior football teams that amalgamated into one franchise. Welcome to Johnny Strides Live, where we talk Canadian football. There's that tower that dominates over Victoria Park and Eglinton, along the west end of the Golden Mile. Cortege 8 KFC. Oh, that's neat. Look at that block of housing. I wonder if those are from the same era as the rest of this. They almost look like condo townhomes, but that would have been built before that was even a concept. And no offense, but they're a little too nice to be public housing, which you often see kind of in that configuration. Looks like punishment, like I have been banished or cast out. Hey, Scarborough has its charms. One of the problems are, though, the interesting spots are far between and don't take very long to cover. So you find yourself just kind of mindlessly walking through long stroads like this. How about Johnny Hamburgers? Johnny's is an institution. Oh, look at that. You got a nice little courtyard area. It's a neat little housing development. I didn't go to the street festival held in Wexford Heights, which is just up ahead this year. I've been there a few times over the past few years and live streamed and recorded along it. But Johnny's Hamburgers is at Shepherd and Victoria Park. Super old school place. I quite liked it. Would I take it over Scarborough? No. But why choose one when you can have both? What's my favorite fast food? Lately it's a toss-up between Harvey's and Chipotle. I had banh mi boys last night and they screwed up, and I ordered a salad and a pork banh mi and they didn't give me any dressing, and the salad was so dry without it. Eating it was absolutely miserable. But they gave me some ketchup packets. So now I gotta be in the habit of checking the bag every time I pick it up. All right, we're kind of back in civilization a little bit. This lady is turning right, but I'll give her a little wave. I was about to go behind her. If she was turning left, it might make a little sense to be up that far, but if you're turning right, there's no need. There's the Scarborough Citadel. So behold. Ooh, a Lambo. No, that was a Corvette. I'm an idiot. And I think that says a lot about how neat the new Vets look. There's the 54 Lawrence bus. Taste of Lawrence Festival, July 4th through 6th. This stop has been updated in preparation for the opening of Line 5. Whitby has a Rudy now. Awesome. Rudy makes some solid hamburgers. But there is a look west. But Scarborough might just look like a collection of suburban strip malls. But within those strip malls are some of the best damn food joints anywhere. This place is renowned for its food. Although I don't like this. I don't like a parking lot on the left. A sidewalk here and no curb separation. That is truly brain dead design right there. What the hell, city? The guy who revved his car just gave me the middle finger. All right, I was about to spin and put the camera on him, but nope. All right, let's see. Does this driver see me? Does this driver see me? Yes. People crossing the Strode. Captain C.
Are you vlogging right now?
We're live.
Live?
Yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe to this guy. Subscribe to him, you know?
All right.
Matrix Studio right there. What are you live on Twitch?
YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Big ups here, you know?
Awesome.
Matrix Studio, we're out here. We're barbers right across the street. You guys need to holler at us. If you want, bro, you can take on my Instagram. You can holler at me anytime for a haircut.
All right.
You know, I'd love to do content with you.
Just shoot me a DM. It's Johnny Strides.
Johnny Strides? Instagram?
Yeah, and YouTube.
One sec. How long you been streaming for?
6 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I rate it, bro. I respect the hustle, man. I've been cutting hair for about 3 years, ever since I was 14.
Oh, awesome. Johnny, J-O-H.
J-O-H?
I'm not that big on Insta, but...
It's okay, man.
N-N-Y, space, S-T-R. There I am.
This?
Yeah.
Sick.
Just shoot me a message.
Where's Bravo?
Yeah, I got 100 and almost 40,000 subscribers, so...
Yeah?
Yeah, I could do a walk there, get a haircut,
sick,
show your business.
I would love to collab, man.
All right, cheers. Take care, man. It's funny, I was thinking, man, my haircuts are expensive these days. I could use a haircut. And I run into that guy tonight. Should I do it? Should I make a video to this area? Go to his shop and get a snip? I'm not beyond that. Christo says the hustle is real. Yeah, you gotta appreciate it. Being super friendly, super personable. Some people just want to jump in front of the camera and say something dumb. There's FB Foods, Filipino Bakery. There's a very large Filipino-Canadian population in this neighborhood. This is Wexford Heights. And across the street are all those funky metal dinosaurs. Let me see if I have time to go over there. Oh yeah, we should easily have time. Should we go see the metal dinosaurs for a little bit? I don't know, my hair is pretty simple. And that guy's been doing it for a while. And he's putting himself out there, so I bet he's pretty good. Let's go hopefully not end up needing a tetanus shot. This is just one of those little bizarre roadside attractions in Toronto. I don't really know the history of it, but I first discovered it about 5 or 6 years ago. Lisa is here. Christos cuts his own hair using a bowl. Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber checking in. Oh, we've got an advanced screen. But if you're just tuning in, we are unexpectedly out in Scarborough today. I ordered something online from the North York store earlier today. And I was like, I'll just get out and make a live stream tonight. Head up to that location, and then they called me and were like, we've transferred your order to the Scarborough store. So you can take your ass out to Scarborough and pick it up. And then they just like hung up. Like, what the hell kind of service is this? Called the Scarborough store, they confirmed it. Here we go. Dear visitors, please use extreme caution. These figures are made from steel and have very sharp corners and edges. Please do not tamper, climb on, dismantle, or move them. Please note you are fully responsible for your actions. I don't know if liability works like that. I mean, it certainly helps to have a disclaimer, but I bet there are lawyers who would thoroughly disagree. Karen on the Humber says, cool. Cue the welcome to Jurassic Park music. Dun, dun, dun. I don't even think I could hum it properly. Unfortunately, some of these dinosaurs are no more. Billy T says, lots of work. Yeah, this must have been a labor of love for whoever did this. And kudos to the city for not objecting to this. Where is T-Rex? I've heard it be speculated that T-Rexes were really just kind of giant bird-like creatures, and they had feathers, and they weren't at all like they appear in Jurassic Park. Mary W says there's Stegosaurus. clct.ca is what it says on there, so if you're curious. But neat stuff, whoever did this. Whenever I'm in the area, camera in hand, I make a point of walking by. And there's a creek down here. This isn't the Taylor Massey Creek. That one is more to the west. So I'm not sure what one this is, but it's probably a tributary of the Don River. But like all good things, it's got to come to an end. Let's get back to stroning. And huge welcome to everyone for joining in the chat. Ooh, look at that sky over there. That's why we stream in the 4K with the super zoom. Look at that. Lisa says, have you before? Clearly I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I think about 2 or 3 times before. This isn't exactly an area I go to all that often. Sanjay in Kingston is here. I heard you were in Toronto a few days back, Sanjay in Kingston. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Chris, I agree. Move them. Well, at Scarborough Town Centre, it might be a bit tricky to display them. They kind of look cool out in their quote-unquote natural habitat where they are. There's a Midas. Oil change, $39. Fully synthetic, $69.99. You know how we have dollar stores? Someone should have the $69 store. All these cars are missing their front ends. That's probably because they ripped them off to replace them. There's Swiss Chalet, Rotisserie and Grill. TD Insurance Auto Center. I used to work at TD Insurance a long, long time ago. Back when we were nothing but a call center. Oops. Sorry, the camera jumped around. That was my first job out of university. Giving people the bad news over the phone. Oh, your daughter has a license, you have 2 cars, and you want to be primary driver on both? Well, dumbass, because you just told me that, I would get fired if I did that, so guess who's going to be a primary driver on one of the cars now? Fun times. There's a Mazda dealer. A&W, home of the Burger family. This is Underwriters Road. Lisa digging the moody skies. Didn't quite have a fall vibe to it. I was like, I should do a first day of fall themed walk today, but it was like piss and rain. We'll wait till the leaves start changing colors before I start going with that theme. There's a mattress shop. Apparently I'm only 30 some odd minutes from where I'm going. Maybe I can spot a place to grab a meal on my way home. So this is Birchmount Road. We just need to get over to Kennedy, and then we're going to start going north. Master Butcher's Shop. M&M Medical Supplies. Christo says, what are most mattress places now? Discontinuing box springs and using headboards too low to the ground. Okay, my mattress came in a box. And it's honestly the best mattress I've ever owned. Payday Loan Mart. Cash for gold. Checks cashed. Yeah, please don't ever use a place like that. They should be illegal at the rates they give. Just absolutely predatory. There's a failed condo development. Matt S says the Endy is the best mattress. I have a friend who has the Lisa mattress, and they say that one's quite good. If I could buy one again, I would buy the Hammock, H-A-M-U-Q. It's a Toronto-based company. And it's a hybrid coil and memory foam, which is the same as what I have now. Russell says, I almost screamed when I saw you partying away on the other guy's stream the other night. On Jeff's stream. That was a fun night. It led to a very lost Sunday. Yeah, 44 is a little too old to be having that many drinks in a night. Holy shit, I thought I could be somewhat productive. Even last night during my live stream, I was just staring off into outer space half the time. Pizza Kebab. H-A-H-Y-A Beauty. Hahya Beauty. Kennedy Tax. Solitaire Diamond Jewelry Pawn Sell Trade Repair. Deep Relax Spa. Should we go to the Deep Relax Spa? I'm not saying that's a non-legitimate establishment, but having insured many of those, or had many of those be applied to me to be insured, with a little bit of finger magic on the keyboard, you can reveal that they are not what they appear to be. Oh, you want me to insure your rub and tug, eh? No thanks. Good luck with that. But they're actually great risks, because if anything goes wrong in there, usually the clients will never report it, because then their name would be public in any litigation. and they would be connected to that place as a customer. My first job doing commercial insurance, we used to insure bars and taverns and that sort of thing. And my boss would always tell me that strip clubs make excellent risks because, again, nobody ever wants to sue them if anything goes wrong. Because then you get your name all in the public record, and if the media picks it up, he was like, they're great risks. You charge a really high premium, they never have claims, but for some reason, only specialty insurers would touch them. Oh, congrats, Harjot. And also they tend to have higher standards in terms of security and people paid to keep the order than most bars would have. I know that's the quality chatter you want to hear from me. I mentioned those homes earlier I didn't think were public housing, but I think these ones are. I think that's a subsidized housing complex across the street. It looks very similar to some that are right around the corner from Jane and Finch. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where are we going? We are going to the next road and then heading north. But we've got a library on the right. Tennis courts, another community center. Diaries of Sarika is here. She called into the stream last night. Big or small moving. Interesting name. There's the Toronto Public Library. That's the thing, if you get a moving company, I used to insure them too, and a lot of them are slimy bastards who misquote and then upcharge out of the wazoo. They also dissolve their businesses and reappear every few years just to scrub that history of all the negative reviews online. So just like anything, like roofers are the same deal. Do your homework. Because if you end up with someone not above board, you could get taken for a ride. And there are stories of movers doing ridiculous things like charging per step on your porch that they didn't quote, even though they knew where they were going, and then they give you a bill for 4 times what you were quoted and then hold your goods hostage until you pay. And back when I was at a commercial insurance broker dealing with people looking for insurance and that sort of thing, we would try to not quote or insure those kinds of slimy contractors. We'd usually make sure there was a rule of at least 3 years of continuous operation with a good track record. And if you're new to it, you would just want to know who you worked for prior and make sure that operation checked out. Greetings, Rom Music. Gertej almost fell asleep last night watching The Terminator. Well, there's no Jays on tonight, or Yankees, but there is NFL football. Turn north on Kennedy and go to Elsmere? No, my destination is on Kennedy. But I started the stream near Elmir and Warden. That's the Winston Churchill Center of Excellence. Oh, I don't think I read that right. Winston Churchill Collegiate Institute. There's a big plaza across the street, which means that must be Kennedy. So we're going to be heading north in a few minutes, walking past where the old Mel Lastman's Bad Boy was, or Lastman family Bad Boy. Company, when they were filing for bankruptcy, made a whole bunch of sales, collected a whole lot of money, and then didn't deliver any furniture to anyone. Nova restaurant right next to Pizza Nova, next to Harry's Drive-In. We got a Church's Chicken. Greetings, Whippy Dude, Alicia Lewis. All right, Jeanette, thanks for tuning in, Jeanette. Have a great evening. Oh, there's a Stitches over there in that plaza, and a swap shop. Metro Cleaners, 100% solvent-free cleaning. I could take line 5 from here someday. I'd have to go a little south down to Eglinton, but yeah, there's plenty of buses. That's one good thing. When traffic is light, bus service is very frequent. Wing machine. All right, it's time for me to start looking out for a potential dinner destination. Diaries of Sarika says that plaza had a fire this past summer. Well, that sucks. All right, I guess we're going to the east side of Kennedy. Used to go to Good Life in this area. Oldest pizza in Toronto is the corner of Danforth and Broadview, says John. That is neat. I've been to that pizza. I've certainly walked by it in a number of live streams, including the stream I did Saturday. Chris73 checking in. Good evening to you. There's a Starbucks. I don't think that's a good dinner place. All right. At least we can pan over and look at that nice sky on the left every now and then. How am I going to get home from here? Probably the TTC, although I think I've got a pretty juicy discount with the Hop app. So I might just order a ride share. If it's less than 20 bucks, I might just do that. Save myself 20-30 minutes. Ooh, that Lady just dropped her phone. And a long, long time ago, I went into that Dollarama and bought a pair of gloves. Because I left my gloves on the bus. I had a video to make. Cosmoroma, home rental and supplies. Laguna Bay. It's a big Filipino restaurant next to that Dollarama. So Kennedy's got a little bit more going on. And those other stroads we were on. And that plaza over there was packed to the gills with stores. And look at that spectacular sunset. That sky is fantastic. One sec. Trojan Elk Explorer says beautiful. Yes. I should just walk with the camera facing in that direction. Every once in a while, the conditions, for whatever reason, line up just right and you get an amazing sunset. And I can tell you right now, this used to be a Future Shop. Future Shop has this same cookie cutter design that they would plunk down on their suburban locations. And this one was converted into a co-ed Good Life Fitness. Fitness centers tend to move into where old movie theaters used to be and big box stores. Man, that is a gorgeous sky. I wish I had a better view of it. Wish we were a little higher up, but I don't think we have too much of that left. Paul Bernardo is from Scarborough. There's a name no one wanted to hear, but yes, he is. May he rot in prison for much longer. Bad Boy used to just be up here on the right if we haven't passed it already. Thrift by the pound. There's a brick outlet store. There's Starbucks next to a place called Kathy's Grill. Yeah, I think that's all she wrote for the spectacular sunset. Mr. John's Real Kerlala Kitchen straight ahead. $99 mattress, LLMBF. Do I want a $99 mattress? Homoka is languishing in Bermuda. Sounds like quite the punishment. She should also be locked up for eternity. And there's an escape room over there. Tons of furniture stores. Someone's mechanic is in this hood. Oh, it looks like there was a fire at that plaza. Is that what you were talking about, Diaries of Sarika? Look at that. Burnt to a crisp. Since we're getting near my destination, let's pay a little bit closer attention to some of these restaurants where I might want to grab a meal. HCD Furniture. Eyewear Emporium. Yeah, John, your message was flagged by YouTube, I think, because of the language, but 100%. Okay, Raleigh. There's certain words that I don't think are chat friendly and YouTube will just zap it. Diaries of Sarika is walking to me now. We are almost done the stream, Diaries of Sarika. I've got an agenda after this. If you catch up to me, feel free to say hi. And I think within the next 10 minutes, the stream is gonna go bye-bye. There's the Chesterfield shop. They've got a location in Midtown. They've got one on King East. The store I'm going to closes at 8. And I might want to look around and pick up a few other things, so I want to give myself a little bit of time. And this has been a very pleasant night. The forecast said there might be showers. Anthony says Lions versus Ravens tonight. Who do I got for fantasy? Oh, just a man named Derrick Henry. Yeah, and another man named Sam Laporta. And how much do I need out of Henry and Laporta? Let me see. All I need out of those two is a combined 18 points. Yahoo has me at a 78% chance of winning. If either one of them hits pay dirt, I'm pretty sure I'll win. Just Smitty says Scarborough has some great food spots. Yeah, that's why I was looking. Just because I'm not out here too often. And the fact that I had to come out here threw me for a bit of a loop. I did a video up Kennedy where I think I walked this very stretch in the winter time, and I finished just south of the 401, and I went to a local spot and I forget the name of it. But I had lunch, and then I think I went live right after that. Bumblebee Man can see their condo from here. And it's been a while, but we did it. We broke 400 viewers. Thank you so much to everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, yada, 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 all that fun stuff. Or if you don't like it, unsubscribe, thumbs down. It's all good. Engagement is engagement. There's the Far Side Fusion, Jamaican cuisine. There's a Wendy's at Kennedy and Elmir. Yeah, there's a big plaza up there with a whole bunch of places to eat. And if you go left, I think towards Birchmount, there's a Burger King. I remember eating there. I might just pop into one of these shawarma restaurants or something. Karaza. I'm not looking to have a romantic night out with myself or anything. Little wave to this driver for backing up. Big sale, Tech City. Cell phones, TVs, computers, laptops. You'd think it would be this giant store. It actually does look pretty big. Pho Vietnam. We might have found our winner. I could 100% go for that. Johnny D's running shoes in your walks? Barefoot shoes or Ultra, ULTRA running shoes. Tonight we've got the Escalants. These are the newest ones. I forget the number, I think 4. Zero drop wide toe box shoes. There's the Chick Queen. You know, I'm out in Scarborough where I see people riding their bikes on the sidewalks, and I think, yeah, I get it. Hey, is that a Big Al's Aquarium Supercenter? Did they change their name? I used to go to Big Al's. There's one in Mississauga, right on Dundas near the Chinatown Plaza. And there's another Big Al's in Oakville I would always go to. I think that's the same chain. But, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, or fortunately, we've hit our destination. I got here about 10 minutes earlier than I would have liked, but I'm here. I've got my steps in. I made a video in Scarborough, which will most likely be on the channel tomorrow since I don't have any other videos. And I might go to that pho restaurant. Then I'll probably just take a hop home. Not really feeling like sitting on a bus. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you, John and Peter, for your kind support and super chats. Thank you to our mods, Madano. I saw Marge here. Sanjay in Kingston was here. Epic Nation HD was here. Big thanks to everyone. Marge, Howard, Christos, Lisa, Johnny B, Matt S, Yoshi, Mary W, Diaries of Sarika, Muffin the Mule, Jillian, Nishal, Jel, and everyone else. A little bit shorter than I usually do, but time to head out. All 407 of you, just a friendly reminder, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I go live next. I also go live on the Johnny Stumbles channel. That one is getting near to 10,000 subscribers, so head over there, give it a sub, and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I go live. I might be doing some Blue Jays playoffs watch-along streams. Speaking of which, my live stream last night got hit by a copyright from Major League Baseball. So there should be no ads on that replay. But thank you, Sarika, Taimo, Gertej, and everyone else. I am going to pick up my item. Yoink!